Hi, welcome to my video. My name is John Yerk. I'm here today to talk about my hellish experience with Heller and Thyen out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's one of their satellite offices. Even the office didn't look very good. But I want to tell you all about them. They're the worst law firm in Minnesota as far as I know. And from my experience, please never use them. They're horrible. I am going through hell right now because of them. I thought everything would be resolved within my civil court case, but it's the complete opposite, and they never cared one bit about me. All they wanted was the money. Let me give you a little bit of background. I got divorced about 6 years ago from my ex-wife. She served the divorce papers at that time, and that divorce went actually pretty well. We had joint custody of our two children. It went very quickly within just about 6 or 8 months. I have not really spoken to my ex-wife at all, and I have not spoken to my children either. She has kept them away from me now for over 3 years, so I barely know them anymore. And that was part of my issue with this upcoming or with this civil case that I went through this past year. 2024 was a hellish year for me, and I finally decided to try a YouTube video and let you know, please do not use Heller and Thyen. They are the worst. It all started around February 9th of this year, 2024. I called them up and said that my ex-wife wanted to take me back to civil court to ask for more money. And I had already paid her what was owed her through the dissolution agreement that we had. And we had joint custody at that time. But our youngest daughter was going to be turning 18 this year in 2024, or actually it was 2023 at the time. And so she was trying to get one last shot at a good chunk of money. And I think if things would have turned out more civil, I would have gladly paid her because I already had paid her exactly what um, the legal agreement had said that I should pay her. So I thought that was all done and over with anyway. But I was very disappointed and frustrated that I was never able to see my daughters. She had kept them away from me. They didn't attend any of the holiday events or anything that I guess I was owed to through the decree itself. So, anyway, on February 9th of this year, 2024, I called them and decided to hire them to handle my case, try to knock the money amount down. At that time, it was about $13,300, I believe. And I just felt I didn't owe that much to her. I would have gladly given her about $5,000 or maybe even $8,000, but I felt that I had already paid my fair share of it. So why pay her more when I especially was not seeing my children? So I met with an attorney from Heller and Thyen. His name was Brian Johnson. Real winner, let me tell you. Anyway, I wanted to hold a physical in-house meeting at their St. Cloud location. It's a satellite office. I think they're based out of Minneapolis overall. I was not impressed by the office at first either. Terrible office. But that's beside the point. But I met with him. I was dressed very nicely and had all my notes and prepared for the meeting. He shows up with a notepad and a polo shirt, and I believe he was wearing shorts at the time too. And it was funnier than heck. He barely took notes. He listened to me, did the whole head nod thing, like, yeah, I get you. Yeah, we'll solve this. We'll get this done, pretty quickly. So he schedules the court date for June 4th. And I already had one scheduled for like March 13th of this year. But he said, no, we can't do that. I'll reschedule it. So then he reschedules it way out till June. Well, great. That doesn't really help me much. And in the meantime, the state states that I am owing Sarah $8,000 and even more, which is false. And that amount is accruing each month. So when I started this process, the state said, well, you owe $13,000. And I had questioned that at the beginning. I'm like, no, I don't. I have all the records, all the cash checks, everything. I've already paid her what I owe her within 3 years and not the 8 years, whatever, that was required. But of course, dealing with the state of Minnesota is like dealing with a brick wall. You know where that goes. And if you're like me, the legal system overall, it's so unfair, so unjust. Um, a lot of it is so corrupt too. Let's be honest with ourselves. So anyway, I hired them February 9th of 2024. I went to see them Valentine's Day, February 14th of 2024. Met with Brian Johnson, and then he had reset the schedule for June 4th for the court date. And first of all, the same judge that originally did the divorce was going to be overseeing this. And her and I did not get along. I believe her name is Nancy McPherson out of Buffalo, Minnesota. She must have a thing against men. I don't know what that is, but that's a different story for maybe another video. We'll see. But he took notes and everything. And then the months went by and nothing really happened. But in the interim, he contacted Sarah's lawyer. She contacted him back using the wrong last name. My name is spelled Urick. She purposely, Sarah's lawyer, put Urich. My lawyer, Brian Johnson, continually sent her emails back with my wrong name. And I finally contacted him and I said, would you please use my correct last name, please? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't catch that. That should have been a signal right there. So anyway, I paid the $4,000 for the retainer fee up front, and he said that would take care of everything. Well, within 3 weeks, I received a statement from Heller and Thyen. They've already used over $3,200 worth of my money. I'm now down to about $800 out of the original retainer. After 3 weeks, absolutely nothing was done, and he continually sent emails using my last name wrongly. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? You haven't done anything. So throughout spring, I rarely ever heard from them. Never really. I was always the one contacting them, asking what was going on, what was happening. Have you talked to Sarah's attorney, my ex-wife's attorney? And really, they would never get back to me quickly. It was always 2 or 3 weeks before I'd even hear anything from them. And by this time now, the state has a law in Minnesota that if you don't pay what the state says you owe within a divorce, they're going to take away your driver's license. They're going to hold your assets, confiscate your assets, and possibly jail time. And I said, great, let me do jail time. Let me pay this off by doing jail time. I've already paid her what she originally was asked to be paid for. I actually paid her all that money already. So I said, if I have to go to jail to pay off this remaining amount that the state says I owe, which I didn't because I have all the records for it, and I can prove that to you or anybody that contacts me that I did have this. And my lawyers continually said, well, they're never going to put you in jail, even though they threaten you with it. Well, then what's the sense of this law? I don't get it. You threaten jail time, but yet you'll never put me in jail. I mean, I just want to spend time in jail to take care of whatever issues I have, be responsible, and then not owe the money or owe less. Just let me know how much jail time I need. Well, it's a civil matter. You'll be in jail forever. Fine. Let's give this a shot. Let's put the state to the test and see, in fact, if they'll do this. And then once I'm in jail, then I'll appeal and see what I can go do from there. Because at my age and everything, I just don't care anymore. I want to kind of have the state step up and, you scare us, but follow through then. Well, that never, of course, happened. As you can see, I'm at home now still. But what frustrates me is that they'll let convicted murderers and rapists and everything go within a year or two. This is a civil matter. This is a civilized, dissolution of marriage issue. And first of all, threaten me to be put in jail, fine. But then when I ask to be put in jail, they don't do it, just to get rid of this entire thing. Well, nothing happened, as you can imagine, throughout spring. Nothing at all. So May 7th, I lost my driver's license. They revoked it. So since then, I have not had a driver's license, by the way. And as you can imagine, yeah, I probably still do drive, allegedly. But anyway, now, right the day before my driver's license was to be expired, this is what I get. I get a bill from Heller and Thyen now saying I owe them an additional $2,600 and $2,682.50. For what? This is I hired you 3 months ago. You've done absolutely nothing. I'm losing my driver's license on May 7th tomorrow, and you haven't done a darn thing. And when I asked them about the driver's license, by the way, they said, well, just pay the monthly amount that you owe, Sarah. That's $1,000. Yeah, well, just pay it then. That wasn't the purpose of why I hired you in the first place. I'm trying to not pay her because I've already paid her. So why are you making me spend $1,000 to get my license back? I know that, it's good to have a license, but not for, $1,000. Then I had to call the state and say, what does it take in a civil court case to have my license, unrevoked or reissued? They're like, well, if you do pay those monthly statements towards the Department of Human Services, it's $20. So instead of paying $1,084, if I paid the $1,084, now I still have to pay the $20 anyway. So again, thanks, Helen, Ian, for all the good advice. I really appreciate that. So anyway, May 7th came and went. Lawyers could care less. And then on a week after May 7th, my father passed away. He was 91. He passed away. Neither my ex-wife nor my daughters attended the funeral, attended any of the services, any of the gatherings for that. Again, brainwashing, I believe, from my ex, but that's a different story. And yeah, I am a little bit bitter, as you can imagine. And then June 4th came along. I had extremely told the lawyers, I said, we should change judges. We should ask for a different judge because this judge does not like me. No, no, no. It's always better to go with the same judge because they know the background. Yeah, well, the judge knows that I don't like her. So that's the background. So sure enough, we decided to use the same judge. That's what they wanted to do. So on June 4th, 4 days before my birthday, the judge barely even, I bet you the court case lasted 5-10 minutes. And again, I believe her name was Nancy McPherson out of Buffalo, Minnesota. And my lawyer showed up totally unprepared, didn't hardly say a word, couldn't offer anything. All the stuff I had given him, from my payments to no time I've spent with my children, none of that mattered. He didn't use any of it. He came in and, like I said, allegedly he's a drunk. And boy, he sure acted like it during the court case. It was horrible. And it was a video conference court case here in Minnesota. I'm not sure about other states. But I just sat here like I am now in just disbelief. I'm like, I paid you $4,000 and I already owe you apparently another $2,300. And this is the console I get? I just couldn't believe it. And then after the judgment was rendered about 2 or 3 weeks later, it turns out that I owed now $27,000. Well, where did that come from? So now I'm in hock for $27,000. And the lawyers now wanted to disown me. They're like, well, the case is closed. No, it isn't. No, 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 no. case is not closed. You guys really screwed up big time. Your lack of doing anything for me over, at that period, a 4-month period, nothing. And now here we sit on Veterans Day in November of 2024. What? Let's see, 9 months after I hired them. They recently, on Friday, they sent me a letter. Let me see if I can find it. And a check. They're trying to buy me off. They sent me a check for $2,682.50. And I specifically told them in another letter that I don't want to close this case. You cannot close this case. That check came with a letter stating we are now closing your case. No, it doesn't work that way. You guys did a poor job, and now I owe more than I did before I started with Heller and Thyen. You're not going to get off that easy. So that's why I'm making this YouTube video. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you will not use them. They were a terrible lawyer outfit, and to me, corrupt and incompetent, and my lawyer should be disbarred personally. And again, thank you so much for watching this. Please comment below and also reach out to me. I can provide you with this documentation at the same time. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I hope you'll take my advice and not use Heller and Thyen. Thank you for listening. Take care and have a great holiday season too. Bye.